Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that cheeky notification bell too. Check it out there, it's just winking at you. Let's crack on with today's first story. I swear I just get weirder every day. And today's first story comes from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit from Severe Plan 3845 and says, would I be the arsehole here for telling my husband his bio child was conceived to entrap him? I, 27 female, married my now husband, 32 male, last year. This is the second marriage for both of us and we are annoyingly happy together and have a blended family with 3 amazing kids. I and my bio kids temporarily moved into my husband's house that he had bought with his ex-wife. He won it in the divorce as she had no interest in it, until we can find a bigger house to buy together. My husband is neurodivergent and just doesn't see certain things and has a difficulty deep cleaning. No problem, I love organizing and cleaning, so I got this. However, while cleaning out the closets and garage, I discovered that his ex left many of her personal belongings behind when she moved out, 1 year before I met my husband. I am not the other woman. This included old family pictures, papers, family mementos, heirlooms, etc. At first we would send these things with her when she picked up my stepdaughter for her custody weekends, but she finally told us she wasn't interested in receiving any more of her old things and asked us to just donate or throw anything else no matter what. Okay, fine. After this, I found a box full of old college books and notebooks stashed in a crawl space. Yeah, I was feeling nosy and resentful for having to continue to clean up her mess. So I flipped through one of the notebooks I found. Inside was a journal entry dated 7 months before the birth of my stepdaughter, detailing that she got pregnant when she purposefully went off her birth control without telling my husband because their relationship was going down the drain, and she loved him and didn't want to lose him. So in, finally, conclusion, I've kept this knowledge from him so far because I don't want to cause him pain, because I decided to be nosy. However, I'm on the fence because this feels huge. She was very emotionally abusive towards him and constantly cheated on him during their entire marriage, but would use him getting her pregnant as the reason why she was with him, and he needed to support her and take her back no matter what. My brain is so muddled right now. So Reddit, would I be the arsehole here for telling him about what I discovered? P.S. in case anyone is wondering, my stepdaughter is an adorable carbon copy of her dad in feminine form. It's uncanny actually, so there isn't any doubt about paternity here. Edit for some more clarity since people are mean. My only motive for telling him would be to try to alleviate some of his guilt around him being told by his ex that he was at fault for the pregnancy, which his ex used as an excuse to abuse and manipulate him. I have a lot of folks commenting on here about my stepdaughter somehow finding out if I told him and what damage that would do. But I can say with complete confidence that neither of us would ever tell her. She is absolutely innocent in all of this, and telling her would accomplish nothing but harm. I have no interest in hurting or harming anyone else involved here, not even his abusive ex. We are not in competition. This knowledge isn't something I'm trying to weaponize against her because I am insecure. I am not. Now for me, you're not trying to weaponize it like you said. It doesn't sound like you're resentful. You're just trying to do good by your husband. You've got his best interests at heart. And, I think this is a discussion that needs to be had. I think he deserves to know this, especially if it's been thrown in his face and used against him in different scenarios. It might bring him some peace with that. Smarter than the average bear. Great name. Hey there, boo-boo. Truly amazing that most Redditors will unequivocally go scorched earth on liars and cheaters, but believe OP should just destroy this diary. The ex made a unilateral decision to go off birth control and deliberately got pregnant. At a minimum, the husband deserves to know this. A lie by omission is still a lie. Will the information hurt her husband? Probably. When and how to share the information is important. OP is not obligated to cover for the ex, but should be protective of her husband. Not the arsehole here, but plan this carefully. Don't blurt it out in anger. Also, the child doesn't need to know. Noise23 says, unpopular opinion. The truth is the truth. I think OP's husband needs to be clear about the kind of person his ex is, but I would wait a good time to tell him. Boeing says, if it comes out later that you knew, but kept this knowledge from him, or even just delayed this knowledge. This is a marriage destroying event right here. Show him the notebook. Pick a quiet moment in which to do it, but don't delay. And Red Hoodie says, depends on what kind of person your new hubby is. I see a lot of people saying it's going to cause unnecessary problems, but most people are don't rock the boat chicken shits. If your husband is the type of person that wants a comfortable lie or to ignore the truth about people, keep it a secret. But most neurodivergent people I know would rather have the painful truth. Not only that, but by knowing this and not telling him, you are now keeping your own secret from him. If you start off a relationship with the idea that you are going to protect someone from pain, the relationship is doomed. Life is pain. Relationships are about supporting and comforting your partner during painful times. What happens if he finds out later on his own? Will you reply, "Oh, I found out and knew about it and never told you"? Or will there be another lie about how shocked you are and had no clue? What you should be concerned with is your relationship solid enough to deal with bad news? Or is your relationship based on hiding from the negative sides of people and walking on eggshells? Opie says, I'm also neurodivergent, and the truth, transparency, and straightforwardness is incredibly important to me personally. But I also realize that my perspective may be skewed because of the neurodivergence factor. This is why I came to Reddit, for some outside perspective. And I was thinking along those lines at the same time as well, that the truth is very likely to come out one day in some shape or form, and if husband was to discover that you knew about this and never told him, that could be potentially devastating. But OP comes in with her update 10 days later and says, I told him. I brought the journal down and let him know that I found something while cleaning that I feel he needed to know about. I was honest with him and told him how I discovered this information, and he was really understanding. He told me he was sorry he put me in the situation of having to clean out his ex's stuff. I assured him that I agreed to do this, and it isn't his fault that I found what I did. He was emotional after reading the entry, but thanked me for sharing it with him. We both agreed that this would stay between us. We would never share it with his daughter, and would not confront the ex about it unless stuff becomes absolutely dire, her trying to weaponize her lie to gain something from him again. We took photos of the journal entry and saved them in a locked file on his drive. We tossed the physical copy of the journal so there would never be a chance that one of the kids could dig it up while poking around. We talked a long time about his feelings around the issue, and he told me, what I already knew in my heart, that this information is painful, but does not change the way he sees his daughter and does not change his love for her. No matter how or why she was conceived, she is here and she is adored by us. He's been talking this through with his therapist and seems really peaceful around the whole situation. If anything, I've seen him become even more tender towards his daughter. Now there isn't the fog of guilt surrounding his fatherhood. A million thanks to everyone who helped bring clarity to my decision. To all the rude people and the obvious cheaters who felt triggered by my original post, go to therapy. It might help you unpack some important stuff about yourself. Couple of comments. First, Alfalfa says, it's fantastic that you told him. I think it was important information that he needed to know. Xanath says, considering the piece of work his ex is, you two should come up with a plan on how to handle it if his ex reveals their daughter was a pawn. The three of you knowing it and hiding it will likely cause a lot of feelings of betrayal. I'm not saying you should tell her. That's a lot of emotional baggage to put on her unfairly, but you need to be ready for the conversation if it happens one day. Opie says, we have already started to have conversations surrounding this scenario. Well, I hope her bio mum would never be that much of a monster. You never know. So we've been talking over things. If nobody says anything, I don't see any reason for her to know. She is loved by so many people and is such a wonderful kiddo. It doesn't matter the reason she came into being, because we are all just so glad she is here. A lovely stepmom in this story with a pretty wholesome in some ways update. They sound like a wonderful couple who's got their daughter's best interests at heart. And I think they handled it in the best way possible for them. But what do you guys make of this situation? How would you have dealt with it if it was you? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from James J95 and says, apparently my 20 male girlfriend, 21 female, of 1 year, told her friends explicit stuff about our sexual life, including the fact that I was a virgin when we started dating, and joked about it. I feel really hurt personally. I'm not sure if I'm right to be. This all started last Friday night. One of my girlfriend's closest friends had come home from a trip abroad, so they were all going out to celebrate. Originally they were planning a party or something, but then they decided to go out to a restaurant together and then go back to one of the friends' houses and watch movies or whatever shit they do. I don't know. Basically, it was meant to be a girls' night out, and there was 12 of them, I think. My older sister, who is a close friend of my girlfriend and part of her inner circle friendship group, was going along with them. It sounded like they were going to have fun, and I wished them the best. Well, since my girlfriend was going and my sister was going, my girlfriend was at my house beforehand, and my sister drove her to the restaurant where they were all meeting up. My sister was going to drop her off at home afterwards, and then come back to our home. We both live with our parents. At least that was the plan. They headed off around 6 PM, and I wasn't really expecting sis back until like 12 PM or 1 AM or something, if she didn't end up sleeping over there. Instead, she came back on her own at around 9:30 to 10, and she seemed really angry and in a horrible mood. We asked her what happened. She said she was just really tired and not in the mood. I asked her if she had dropped my girlfriend off at her place. She said no, she can take a taxi. It was really weird because she seemed visibly angry, and I know my sister. She's not the sort of person to easily get angry. She was like even slamming doors and shit. The next day she was in a bit of a better mood, but still kind of angry. I prodded and asked what the matter was. She refused to talk about it. She said it was nothing. She said she'd just been a bit tired the night before, maybe feeling unwell. Next day, on Sunday, she opened up. She said, "Look, something happened the other day when I was out with your girlfriend and her friends." I said, "Aha, I knew it." She said, "You're not going to like what you're going to hear, but you need to hear it anyway." My mind was like, oh shit, is she cheating? That was the first thought that came to my head. She proceeded to tell me about the entire night, how they had gone to the restaurant, all had plenty of fun, gone back home. Apparently they started watching a movie but didn't like it, so they didn't finish it, and they couldn't decide on what other movie to watch, so they started drinking and gossiping. Like started gossiping about past and current boyfriends, relationship, sex. Sis said your girlfriend may be drunk a bit too much and started revealing too much information about you, stuff she shouldn't have. I said, "What sort of stuff?" She said, "You don't want to know." I said, "You can't just start telling me that and then cut me off without telling me what she said. What did she say?" Sister said, "I really didn't want to talk about this, but you want to know and you probably have a right to." And she proceeded to tell me the stuff my semi-drunken girlfriend had said about me. Apparently she was making jokes about how when we first started dating I was a virgin and had no knowledge or experience of sex, and she was mocking my inexperience and lame attempts. My girlfriend also apparently made fun of the shape of my penis. There's a weird thing where it bends to the side. I've never really felt self-conscious about it because I thought it was the sort of thing that most girls wouldn't care about, and my girlfriend never mentioned it. But now I feel incredibly self-conscious. And apparently I ejaculate too quickly and make weird sounds when I do. I was like, what the fuck? Why is she even talking about this? How drunk was she? Apparently not even that drunk. Like she had a few drinks but not that many. I told my sister, "Why did you have to tell me all this? I wish you hadn't. Now I just feel hurt." She said, "I felt you have a right to know your girlfriend is saying this stuff. I just couldn't stand being in the same room as her when she was saying it all. That is why I was so angry and left early." She seemed to feel better having gotten that off her chest, but I couldn't understand why she was so angry about it. My girlfriend had been saying all that stuff about me and revealing all those private details about me. And sure, I was hurt by it, but I had no idea why she had gotten so angry from all of it. It made no sense. Someone explain this. I feel hurt, honestly, kind of dismayed. Like I feel like all this stuff my girlfriend never brought up with me. She just jokes about it in front of other people. Is it right for me to be upset about this? Is it right for me to be hurt, or am I overreacting? Was it fair for her to talk about all that stuff in front of the other girls, even if they were all gossiping? Should I bring this up with her and tell her that it really hurts me? What if she tells me to just get over it, or I should just forget about it and move on, because it's no big deal, even though I feel it's a big deal to me? Am I being too sensitive? Now first, I find it weird the girlfriend in itself talking about the whole situation in general, but talk in front of OP's sister at the same time? The fuck? I don't blame the sister for telling you in this situation. It's like this last story that we read. If the truth comes out further down the line and she knew about this, how are you going to feel then about your sister? That she held this secret about, your girlfriend talking behind your back about you, body shaming you for one. Your sister is pissed off on your behalf, and I can't blame you. I'm trying to put myself like, if I found anyone talking about one of my family members like that as well, I'd be pissed off. And I'm not sure if I'm overreacting in this situation or not, but that's a deal breaker for me. If I found out that, things would be over. She thinks it's funny to take the piss behind your back. Fuck that. Strayon says your sister got upset because she cares about you and it hurt her to see your girlfriend making fun of you behind your back. Yes, you're absolutely right to feel hurt and betrayed by this. You should talk to your girlfriend about it, and how she responds will tell you how to proceed. If she's remorseful and apologetic, you may be able to work past this. If she tells you to get over it, that it's not a big deal or anything like that, it means she doesn't respect you and you should break up. Half a dozen cat says makes complete sense to me. Somebody was shit talking her brother right in front of her, and that somebody was his girlfriend. I'd be more concerned with why your girlfriend thought airing all of this in front of her boyfriend's sister was smart. Buy her some car keys because she sounds hideous. One more comment who says, first, you should give your sister a big hug. She cares about you a lot and had your back. That's why she was so upset. Then you need to confront your girlfriend about disrespecting you in front of all of her friends. That was all very personal and she had no business airing it in public. Quite frankly, you'll be well within your right to break up with her for this because not only has she hurt you, she's now giving you the reason to not trust her anymore. It's up to you, OP, but you need to confront her. The OP comes in with her update and says it's been a really eventful week. Kids has its ups and downs, a bit chaotic at times, but now things have settled. I finally have time to write this update in full. Some of you were really supportive in the last one, some of you a bit less, but that's okay. I appreciate all your advice. Hope this update can clear things up. After I found out from my sister what my girlfriend had said, I was feeling pretty down. I felt quite a blow to my perception of myself. Like all this time, my girlfriend had held me in a lower esteem than I thought she had. Did she look down at me because I was a virgin? Did she really think I was that bad when we were together in bed, that she thought it was worth making fun of me to her friends, or is this just something all girls do? I hope not. I was feeling pretty self-conscious about my penis as well. I never thought it was abnormal. I thought the slight bend was just a feature. I didn't know it's something a girl would ever be disturbed by. I didn't even know how normal it was. I haven't seen that many. Embarrassing to say, but I looked up a few pictures of penises on Google and Googling whether there was anything wrong with me or if it's an abnormal medical condition. I eventually realized I was overreacting about the whole thing, but still, my self-esteem did take a momentary blow. I realized I had to confront my girlfriend about it. The more I just thought about it, the more I intensely scrutinized myself and scrutinized my actions and behavior. The more I began to doubt my own opinion of myself. Was I overreacting? Maybe, probably, but I had opened up myself to my girlfriend in a way I'd done to nobody else before. I had trusted her by letting her be the first person I'd ever slept with. I felt hurt and betrayed that she'd mouth off my initial lack of sexual capabilities to her friends. I mean, everyone sucks at sex first off, right? Surely it's not just me. And even if I did, she never mentioned it. I'd rather be able to improve than just remain a joke for her to mock with her friends. I obviously care for her very much. I wish she'd open up about these things to me and not to others. I was feeling really depressed and doubtless of myself, needless to say. My first instinct was to wrongfully shoot the messenger. I started harassing my sister with questions about what exactly my girlfriend had said. She didn't want to tell me, but I told her I needed to know exactly what it was because I was planning to confront her about it. My sister was uncomfortable by the whole thing, but I pressed, and she repeated everything she had previously told me about what my girlfriend had said. I'd asked my sister if it was okay with her if when confronting my girlfriend about it. I told my girlfriend that she was the one who had told me. My sister sighed and relented, figuring that the girlfriend would probably assume as much anyway. I asked her, "Are you sure it's right for me to confront her about this?" Sister said yes, if you feel that's what you need to do. But promise you won't stay with her just because she's your first or you feel obligated to. I've seen you hurt all day because of what she said, and I don't think she deserves you back. And then I started lashing out at my sister. I got quite angry. I got mad at her for telling me, saying I would have been better off if she hadn't told me. My sister said sorry at first and left it at that. I kept going at it, harassing her about it and blaming it on her. She just stayed silent and visibly frustrated, eventually storming upstairs to her bedroom. I followed her up and kept pestering her about it. Why did you have to tell me? Why did you even think I needed to know something like that? I definitely pushed too far. She opened the door and shouted back at me, something along the lines of, "Oh, I don't know, maybe because I love you. Did you consider that, you fucking idiot? Fuck me for trying to look out for you when she clearly has no respect for you. But no, go running to her, she's exactly what you deserve." She called me a fucking idiot numerous times and slammed the door in my face. I tried to knock on the door and open it, but she had locked the door and was playing really loud music from within. She didn't come out of her bedroom for the rest of the day, and I was feeling really bad. I felt guilty and atrocious for lashing out at her like that. I know I was 100% in the wrong. I know you're going to slice me up in the comment section for that, and go ahead, I deserve it. I was an idiot and a terrible person for attacking the one person who had my back in all of this. I wasn't thinking straight, and I'd clearly hurt the person closest to me. I decided to confront my girlfriend about this. I called her the next day and she seemed in a good mood, happy to hear me. She said I hadn't called in a while and she'd been waiting for me to call. We met up, went for lunch, and I kept waiting for the right time to bring it up, but I couldn't. She asked if she could stay at my place for the afternoon before heading back home. I said sure. Apparently her parents were having some people over that afternoon and she didn't want to be around. We were sitting at home and I decided to finally bring up the thing. My sister was upstairs in her bedroom listening to music, quite loudly, and I figured she wouldn't come down or anything. I said to my girlfriend, "Look, I don't know how to bring this up, but there's something that's really been bothering me. Some stuff that you apparently said about me." I proceeded to tell her about the stuff she'd apparently said to her friends. Her response was, "That's it. I could tell something's been bothering you. Is that really it?" She then proceeded to dismiss it, saying she couldn't believe I was worked up about that. I told her that she knows I care deeply about what she has to say about me, and I was really hurt by all the stuff she said. I think an apology is in order. She said, "Fine, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that." She said she wouldn't do it again and she didn't know that it would affect me so much. But then she started brushing it off again, saying it was a silly thing to be upset about, that girls talk about all that sort of stuff with each other and tease their boyfriends behind their back all the time. It's just being playful. I told her that it was really hurtful to me. She did a sarcastic "oh" face and seemed to be laughing at the whole thing. Then she asked me how I knew about it anyway. I said, well, sometimes when you say stuff about someone in front of other people, it can likely get back to them. Her instant response was, "It was my sister's name, wasn't it?" I said, well, maybe you should have thought about that before talking about someone in front of their sister. She said, "I knew it, that bitch. I hate having her around anyway. She always acts like she's so moral and better than everyone." I told her, "Hey, that's my sister, don't talk about her that way." She proceeded to go on complaining about my sister, twisting the whole situation to blame it on her, saying that none of this would have happened and I would have never found out about it if my sister hadn't told me. I told her my sister was just looking out for me and she shouldn't hold any blame. She said, "Do you really believe that? Your sister always tries to pretend she's so moral, but she loves to create drama. She enjoys stirring the pot. Why else do you think she told you?" I told her that's not true. My sister just cared about my feelings. She should stop blaming her. Girlfriend's response, "If she cared about your feelings, she wouldn't have told you." Then the girlfriend started asking if my sister was around at home. I said she was upstairs in her room, but now was probably not a good time to bring this up with her. So my girlfriend and I stayed in the living room. Eventually my sister came downstairs. While she was coming downstairs, she was calling my name, saying there was something important she needed to talk to me about. Then she saw me and my girlfriend were sitting together. She said, "Oh, I didn't know you were here." There was an extremely cold silence between them. Then there was a bit of chit chat, but it was very awkward. Then my girlfriend opened up. "What do you think gives you the right to interfere in the relationship between me and my boyfriend?" My sister was stunned. She just stared back and didn't answer. Girlfriend said, "Don't act like you don't know what you did. I know you always enjoy stirring the pot." She started telling her that she couldn't trust her as a friend and started accusing my sister of being a horrible friend, and she shouldn't even go to the girls' nights if she couldn't keep her mouth shut. I had to intervene. I said that's enough, but she didn't stop. It broke out into an open argument between the two of them. I kept trying to calm them down. It was mostly just the girlfriend relentlessly attacking my sister. My sister's eyes swelled up with tears and she just turned to me and says, "Why didn't you stand up for me? She's a fucking bitch. Can't you even hear what she's saying? Why are you even with her?" At that point, the girlfriend said she couldn't take it anymore and had to leave. Before she left, I said I need to speak with her. At that point, I broke up with her. I didn't really give a reason. I just said I felt things weren't really working out and it's better for everyone if we end our relationship. She was really hurt and didn't seem to understand why. I told her because of everything that happened recently, we should stop seeing each other. Plus the enmity between her and my sister. I didn't think I could be with her after that. She was incredibly upset, but she seemed to understand. My girlfriend said, "Maybe we can still be friends?" I said, "Maybe. We'll see, but we just need some time apart now." We hugged and kissed one last time, said goodbye, and she went on her way. My sister had disappeared. I figured she was back in her bedroom. I went upstairs and she was just sitting on her bed listening to music, staring at the ground. I sat beside her and tried to comfort her. I told her I'm sorry for everything. I told her how sorry I was for lashing out at her earlier, but trying to blame things on her. I basically told her I was incredibly sorry for everything that had happened, and I was sorry for my girlfriend's behavior towards her just then. She said that my girlfriend was right, that she's an idiot who always sticks her nose in everything trying to make things better, but she should have just kept her mouth shut. I told her that she had done the right thing, that I knew she was just looking out for me like any brother or sister would. I told her I'd broken up with my girlfriend just minutes earlier. She says she thought I did the right thing. I said I was sorry she had to endure all that and gave her a hug, asking her if there's anything that I could do to thank her. She told me she just wanted to see me smile more often. The next few days she seemed kind of depressed and dreary, not leaving the house much. She tried to put on a brave face and smile when she can, but I knew something was up. On Friday afternoon I noticed she was sitting at home eating chips and watching cartoons on TV in old dirty clothes. It looked like she hadn't showered in a while and her hair was dirty. I asked her what was up and she said nothing. I told her I thought she was going out again with her friends on Friday to a restaurant, i.e. a girls' night, like she had the previous week. She said, "Not anymore." I said, "Why not?" She responded that her friends had officially disinvited her. My reaction was, "That's horrible. How can friends do that?" She said she didn't think they were her friends anymore. All of the girls she had gone with last week had stopped responding to her and were ignoring her. Some of them had deleted her on social media and were basically all giving her the cold shoulder. Apparently they really hated the fact that she had ruined the gossip of their girls' night, and basically all the girls in that social group followed my girlfriend's lead. So when my girlfriend cut my sister out of her life, they followed suit and did the same. I was shocked. I couldn't believe that so-called friends would do such a thing to someone, just completely defriend them from life over one incident. She just shrugged and didn't seem to care. I lamented over the fact that all of this had happened to her just because she chose to stick up for me and tell me the things that my girlfriend had been saying about me. My sister just shrugged in response. I told her I'm sorry, and I felt this was partially my fault. I said I don't understand how she can still have no regret having told me all this. She said, "Why would I regret it? I don't care about them. You mean more to me. I'll find other friends after all." I told her that is an incredibly nice thing to say and hugged her. I sat down and asked her what she was watching, but she didn't seem very interested in it. She said she had a lot of fun with them last time and she felt kind of sad that they were all having fun without her while she was stuck at home like a loser. Friday nights were a sort of thing for her and the girls, and they'd regularly go out, so it's understandable she'd feel upset. She no longer had that and she'd lost a bunch of friends. I asked her what restaurant they were going to. She told me they normally went to the same one each week. Apparently it was a really fancy place. I said screw it, she doesn't have to stay at home, I'll take her to somewhere even better. At first she thought I was kidding, but I told her I was serious. We got dressed and I drove us to this new place that I haven't been to before. It was expensive as fuck. I spent over $200 on the two of us, but it was worth it and we had a good time. The food was excellent. At least she wasn't feeling so down afterwards. I still feel terrible over the way I initially handled it. I feel ashamed over my initial misdirected anger and how I was rude and careless. Honestly, I feel much better off after having broken up with a girlfriend. I was expecting I'd have a period right afterwards where I'd feel down and regretful about it, but the more days that go by, the more sure I am I made the right decision. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you have dealt with that if it was you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.